Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother.
Hi everybody, welcome to your Libra full moon readings. These are Great Mother Speaks readings. Great Mother Speaks welcomes you to this platform, a language of signs and symbols to assist those of us who are seeking to connect with the mother of all mothers as a result of mama drama trauma. It is my area of specialization. My name is Tammy Taylor. I'm an inner work life coach. This is inner work, emotional, intuitive language that we use for these readings. And Great Mothers Speak is a language that is based on that emotional sign and symbology. Particularly here, we're talking about your Vedic moon sign. We work through the moon yogas here. We work with lunar-based astrology because Great Mother is lunar energy. She is the moon, the yin energy, the feminine archetypes within us. The sun is Great Father energy, and your Vedic sun sign will represent the soul. Great Mother communicates. She is the transmitter of information, of that frequency signal between the soul and the ego. That is the ascendant sign. So you want to be sure that you check the link below and get your Vedic moon sign. If you're working from your Western moon sign, you can, but the readings won't make as much sense since Western astrology is an earth-centric, egocentric astrology. It is based on a very definite perception of this lifetime, whereas the Vedic astrology is going to transcend many lifetimes and many more ways on deeper and deeper levels than the Western astrology. And that's what we have to do to really understand and heal mama drama trauma, which is a soul contract between two souls who love each other enough to support one another in the mutual evolution of self-love and spiritual independence. Mama drama trauma is a planetary disorder. It is at this time before we enter the Aquarian age that we are learning how to love ourselves. That is in fact how we deliver ourselves from the cycle, from the disorder, the pathology of mama drama trauma, which is perpetuated through shame, blame, and guilt. We saw that the Notre Dame, our mother, our Mother Mary, Our Lady, the physical edifice will no longer suffice going into our future selves as a proxy for us being connected with and understanding our inner selves, which is the true essence of who we are, which is the true method of connecting with our highest selves, which made this contract with our mothers. And so it is imperative that when we are healing mama trauma, we understand that we are undaunted as souls who have made this decision to evolve and learn these lessons through the mechanism of mama drama trauma. It doesn't make it less painful. It doesn't make it less difficult to do the work. But what it does do, it enables that process of growth, because self-love is not something that we voluntarily learn as souls. We have to be coerced into it because it is an illusion. We are loved. So we have to, in order to evolve in self-love, be refined through the illusion of not experiencing love. And so the soul that loves us deeply enough to what we experience to be a violation of our humanity exchanges this illusion, creates this illusion with us to refine that inner sense of knowing we are loved, of knowing we are a part of the Great Mother Father God. Now, of course, the concept of Great Mother Father God in Vedic astrology is through Varuna. And Varuna separated the higher self, the soul self, from the lower self, and actually thrusting the universes into existence. And his architect of the cosmos, Shrati Karma, I believe that's how you pronounce it, had a daughter, Chitra, who is the nakshatra, or the lunar constellation of this full moon, Chitra. Chitra married Surya, the sun, the soul of the cosmos, and discovered that his light outshone hers. And so she represents the gem, the pearl, the beauty of the cosmos. And her father, Shami Karma, made sure that Krishna Karma, let me get that right. Anyway, he diluted Surna's brightness in order for her to shine. And that is what this full moon energy is about. The sign and symbology of this full moon has to do with the Libra energy from 23.2 degrees to the Virgo energy from 23.4 degrees to the Libra energy at 6.4 degrees. So it's early degrees of Libra, which is why this full moon is in Libra in both the Western and the Vedic astrology this time, giving us the double message that this is the second full moon in Libra in the Western astrology, the ego astrology, that it is time to begin our planetary and our individual soul work to balance this disorder on the planet. Now, the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck is what we'll be using as we always do, but I'm going to share with you as just your significator card, not the whole deck, that has been revised. As you know, that this deck is based on the 49 scenes of the Wizard of Oz. And Dorothy is the poster child for Mama Drama Trauma. She was an orphan. She was neglected emotionally and ran away from home in order to learn how to love herself. And along that journey, she saw the mirrors of herself through the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion, and went to Great Father Oz by the direction of Great Mother Glinda the Good Witch in order to find her way home. And that is what we are doing. Each new moon and full moon, we're finding our way home, finding our way back to the truth of our divinity, emerging from the illusion of Mama Drama Trauma, regardless of how real the sensory experience makes it feel. Now, this full moon ushers in a transit season that cannot be defined as anything but a karmic transit. Jupiter has already gone retrograde in the South Node and K2. Saturn is about to go retrograde at the end of this month, but after, of course, Pluto on the 26th, the 29th Saturn. We don't really pay a lot of attention to the outer planets in Vedic astrology in general as a rule. But it is important to look at what's going on with the outer planets when we're looking at the collective consciousness, or what I call the collective unconscious. So the collective unconscious is beginning to go through a very deep karmic cycle. And those of us who are consciously doing our healing work, we're also going through this karmic cycle that begins this month until about September, October. This cycle is going to really test whether or not we are serious about balancing our sense of self. And what is that balancing? That balancing is releasing that conditioning of shame, blame, and guilt in our daily interactions, first and foremost with ourself, our self-talk, and then therefore how we interact with others. Are we feeling repetitively that shame, blame, and that guilt? I just see that church burning, and Catholics will be the first to tell you that the religion is based on guilt. And so we're beginning to see the fall of this illusion that we're not good enough, that we are not divine. And so that's the balance. It is bringing up the self-awareness of our divinity, which is what I'm constantly repeating, what Great Mother has given me to share, is that we are dearly loved children of the Great Mother, Father God, who are never judged, condemned, or left alone. We always have our angels, our guides, and our ancestors, just as Chitra had her father, even though she had been married to the glorious sun. Everything that glitters is not gold. And Chitra represents that as well. It is a beautiful light that shines specifically, and even when the sky is the cloudiest, you can still see Chitra. It's ruled by Mars, and so there is this great gut chakra energy and this fire. And I'm wearing this today as a representative of it because I am Chitra, my Jupiter is in Chitra, I should say, and it's retrograde. So I understand these deeper transits and these deeper cycles because of this work that I do. And I'm happy for the 2 and the 3 of you that I talk to each new and full moon, because I've come to understand that that's another characteristic of Chitra, is it's not popular. It's not a popular sign. It's not a popular nakshatra. Each sign in Vedic astrology has about 2.5 nakshatras, which are lunar based constellations. And it speaks clearly from the beauty of the cosmos, whether it's popular or not. And that's more important to it than being popular, because it's already bright. It has enough support. It doesn't need the physical, the numbers, the subscribers for it. Doesn't need that. It already has enough support, unless it is in a situation that it is being told you are not enough, you are not good enough. And although that was not my mother's intention, that is exactly what she did with this child that was very forthright in her expression and wise beyond her years. And it was embarrassing at some points, for her because I didn't care whether or not I was popular. And it's not a angry attitude thing. This energy of this full moon that I'm sharing with you is an energy that is, get it or quit it. It's like, just be who you are, assert how you feel, live how you need to live, or suffer the consequences. And this Libra kind of Virgo Libra juxtaposition of this nakshatra says that it's already gone through the highest form of refinement and the latter degrees of Virgo, as we know. So we say 23.4 Virgo to 6.4 of Libra. The latter degrees of any sign is when it's come to its full maturation. And what is the full maturation of Virgo energy? It is the self-healer. It is the one who is able to keep account of details in order to be of the greatest service, of the greatest good of others and to itself first and foremost. It is about not overlooking the details that improve and constantly improve the healing ability and the serviceability. And being ruled by Mars, it is determined to do that and combative in doing that if necessary. But with the earlier degrees of Libra, suggests that there is enough of an intention to connect with others to make it feasible, to make it useful. And that's what you want to glean from this full moon reading, is how is this information going to be useful for me during this transit, during this Jupiter retrograde, which basically, if you are a life coach or you are an astrologer watching this, you are a teacher of some form, you are a mother and you're doing your healing work, and you find that your challenges as of late have been more in terms of how you are setting an example, then the Jupiter retrograde is about, over the next few months until August, listening to what Great Mother is saying to you through signs and symbols. And this is what your readings are about, the signs and symbols of the lunar phases of your chakras for your moon sign, your yogas. What's coming through from that internal space to align you to balance that MDT, shame, blame, and guilt, with the divinity, being and feeling and experiencing that love from divinity. Feeling that non-judgmental sense of innocence and being loved. Feeling like your angels and your guides are surrounding you, and more releasing that. What is Jupiter telling you needs to be shared with others through your experience of learning, through your experience of balancing and shining your light of MDT healing. For those of you who have come here for the first time or are just beginning to be aware, even acknowledge, admit, accept your MDT, you're probably at a point where you're realizing that the denial, the minimizing the MDT, the ignoring, the abandonment and abuse, the repetitive abandonment and abuse is beginning to present to you opportunities to define more healthy boundaries and those type of toxic environments that perpetuate that shame, blame, and guilt for you. And you are wanting this transit with Jupiter retrograde to download to you what it is that you need to do to balance. How do you need to define boundaries? Show me. Show me. If I'm constantly experiencing someone walking in on me and disrespecting my space, and I do need solitude from time to time to connect with Great Mother, show me how to do that, and I will follow. Obedience is very important, especially with Jupiter, in order for us to receive more. Jupiter is very abundant, and we will receive many times whether we realize it or not. But what's the use of having $100,000 in the bank if you don't know that you have it? So that's why the inner communication piece, the inner work piece is so important, is that you know that you get $100,000 in the account. And you have something useful, again, at your access, something beautiful to enhance your beauty. With the Saturn retrograde that we're going to be greeted with at the end of this month, and that will be active for your new moon reading in Aries in the Vedic, you want to ask yourself as a teacher or as the sharer of MDT healing information, Saturn, I know that you are the cosmic Lord. I know that you are the karmic Lord, rather, and you are keeping a clock on my incarnation at the time that I have here to do what I'm here to do, which first and foremost is to heal my MDT. But I need to know from you karmically what it is I truly need to stop doing, let go of, restrict in my life, or completely let go in order for me to better balance my ability to teach, to share, and to shine my light. I need it to be made very, very clear to me. Show me the consequences of not doing my inner work. Show me the consequences. We're not ever judged or condemned, but there will always be consequences for actions. And karma, literally in Sanskrit, means actions. Okay, and so all of our actions accumulate over lifetimes. And this experience of MDT is all about getting in touch with that karma, owning it as a strong soul, and hearing from the Holy Spirit, Great Mother, the downloads that we need in order to balance and in order to heal it. Now, those of us who are really, again, in that space of releasing denial of MDT, and we're coming to realize we do need to work on healing this MDT through the guidance of Great Mother, connecting with the Mother of all mothers. You really want to have Saturn help you be aware of the consequences that you are already suffering, and have those be made very clear to you so that you can say, yes, this is about shame, blame, and guilt. I am ashamed to even discipline my child because I know the way I was disciplined and it made me feel horrible. And so I don't know what to do. And therefore I'm blamed as a mother as not being a good mother. And now I feel really guilty because I know I'm not. I see this cycle before me happening. It takes many people a long time to get to that place. But this is what I want you to do. I want you, when you go to that Vedic calculator, it's going to show your whole chart, and I would love to go over that with you. We can do a class on the website. I have the MDT support group, and we do all kind of topics there, and we could do one day just bring your chart and we'll just go over certain things. You know, just go there and sign up and put in the notes what you would like to talk about, or even hear what you'd like to talk about in those free groups. And they're very small, just like the group of people that watch the videos, 2, 3 people, 4 people, and we just kind of go over these things so you can understand that as you recognize these patterns, they have less power over you. This is what this is all about. This is what this Libra full moon in Chitra Nakshatra is all about. It's all about shining the light and not being afraid to say, hey, this MDT light is shining way too bright, this soul contract right now. And so let me just recognize that I need to address this, and get some help in balancing these scales out. Because I know you got a light and this is soul contract and I agreed to do this, but I know that I'm also here to evolve through the experience. So let me get on that part. Let me get some shine for that, for the work that I'm doing. And you'll find that once that foundation is in place with your Vedic astrology, what's going on with the outer planets, like this Neptune square the South Node and this Pluto that's going retrograde on the 26th, you will see how on a collective unconscious level, the changes that are going on within you, you will be able to see the effects in the outer world with more clarity and not have to experience so much yourself personally, because you're disciplined in the process of being observant of your healing. You don't have to, for example, always feel guilty for being a bad mom. You can begin to work on owning the role that you've played in perpetuating MDT out of ignorance and stopping the cycle little by little by little, saying, well, hey, I know in the past I haven't said anything when you've spoken this way, but this reminds me of when I was young, how I was spoken to, and it didn't make me feel very nice, and I apologize for having spoken to you that way. I would like us both to work on speaking to each other in a more kind way. And I'm going to make mistakes and you're going to make mistakes, but let's help and remind each other as lovingly as we can, okay? The next time I do something, the next time, that's what we talk about in our group, and that's what we work on, and that's what we report our successes on, and that's where we share our challenges in. So I want you all to feel comfortable in coming to me. I don't know whether or not this website scares you when you look at it or what, but I see the traction and the visitation, people visit, but you're scared to sign up for the free night thing. I don't know that the time doesn't work for you or whatever. Let me know, because that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. Okay, so we have that. Let us go ahead and get started with your readings. Now remember, your significator card in the middle of your reading is going to be from the new Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, which doesn't have any of the pictures from the Wizard of Oz, but of course is based on that. There'll be a new deck coming out, and the guidebook is going to be great and very colorful. I'm very excited because I have gotten feedback about the deck, and people have it, and it's been a collaborative process, and I know that this is a very, very blessed healing tool for us. So let's go ahead and get started. Leo moon sign people, your moon yogas are Cancer, Leo, and Virgo, meaning that you download intuitive information in a very Leo manner. Of course, Leo is ruled by the sun, and so your intuition comes to you very strongly, playfully as well. It is a sense of wow, of something that's worth your attention, a sign or a symbol that catches the corner of your eye, and it's so brilliant, it's very difficult to express. For some of you, that can be intimidating and it can make you feel uncomfortable, but for most of you Leos, we know that's not a problem at all. That's why you're so confident, and that is how you experience emotionally, how you experience your reaction of that intuition is that Leo moon sign energy. You experience your emotions in a very Leo manner about that, and so you are ready to act on what you intuit. You are often ready to share with others how that intuition has inspired you to be creative, whether it's in a loving, romantical way or in some other creative manner. that we are accustomed to being entertained in. You are ready to serve. And how you then process those emotions in that service is in a very Virgo way. You organize the information. You are very detail oriented in how you want to share the information many times. And if you're not that way, you genuinely want to share it in order to heal people. Very generous. You're wanting to make life better, make things that are practical and that are useful, just enjoyable in life. So that's a little bit about your moon yogas. And of course, depending on the planets that are there or that are not there, the interpretation changes as well as aspects that affect them. Generally overall, for this Libra full moon, this for you, Leo, is third house energy. It has to do with communication, obviously. And your soul wants to do the internal work of Adi Shakti. As you see here, this is the primordial mother card. I think it's the new card that you see here. It may be another message there, but it essentially is primordial mother energy. This is the Twister Dream card. The Twister Dream card is about either realizing that you've done all that you can do about a situation, or that you've come as far on the road as you can come, and you have to wait in order to go forward. That kind of energy, or that you are realizing you haven't followed your intuition, and that you're going to have to retrace some steps. Either way, this card represents the inner work your soul wants to do this full moon. This full moon in Libra is about identifying where those imbalances are. So imbalances that are preventing you from shining your light communicatively, Leo, could have to do with that creativity on a psycho-spiritual basis. What are you creating from this internal space? Because your South Node is in your 5th house, conjunct Saturn and Jupiter. This is why the question, what am I creating from my internal space, is so important for you right now. And your soul wants to get back to the foundational issue of, are you listening to that intuition that comes through so clearly for you? The only reason Leo Moon may not be listening after all that explanation about it coming to you, magically and everything, and now we're talking about this full moon where Mercury is conjunct Venus, a very beautiful conjunction in your 8th house, there may be a sense of surprise. Like, okay, so this is the intuition. It may not be, in other words, something that you want to hear, even though it's coming to you very clearly. And that might be why you may not want to, on an emotional level, deal with the intuition that you're getting from that Cancer energy, that maternal, that great mother energy. Remember, Cancer is ruled by the moon, and that is your moon yoga of how you download. So let's take a look at what's bringing this up for you. There's a need for purification. So there's a reset button on how you are communicating your inspiration, your creativity, your service to the world. There's a reset button for many of you as it relates to mama drama trauma. You are being purified. This is heart chakra energy. Heart chakra is ruled by Venus, and it's conjunct this Mercury. And Mercury is the communication. It's changing. It's being transformed. It's in your 8th house, and it rules Virgo, which is how you process emotions. And so you're getting some surprises about processing some issues around blame, some shame, some guilt, mama drama trauma in general. It's probably not something you're ready to acknowledge even. Some of you may still be, who are watching this, minimizing it. oh, it's not really that bad. Everybody has some issues with their mother. But of course, we're not talking about some issues with our mother here. We're talking about trauma. Mama drama trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. Trauma is soul disassociation. We disassociate from our divinity. We disassociate from being okay with ourselves, from knowing that we are loved, from knowing that we are wanted, that we are a part of life, that we are worthy. That's trauma. And to experience that over and over again is the real definition of trauma. To have that triggered over and over again, those feelings of unworthiness through shame, through blame, and through guilt, you never get to balance yourself and rebalance yourself. And so to minimize that, or to deny that, or to try to ignore that, will bring you into a twister dream type of situation where the only thing you can do is wait. The only thing that you can do is acknowledge, I have ignored my intuition that's told me that something is not right and hasn't been right for a long time. And I keep getting hit over my head with this. I keep going down this one-way street and getting hit over the head with this, wrecking ball, and then trying to put all the pieces back together again, because it's a one-way street. It's not a two-way street of communication. And here I am again. After a while, Leo Moon, that can become not so fun. And you get into a situation of avoidance. You just avoid the situation altogether. And avoidance is the foundation of addiction, because all addiction is pain avoidance. We're trying to avoid some pain. And so we numb it with food, we numb it with sex, we numb it with drugs, we numb it with whatever attention-getting device, which is a propensity for those of us who have this moon sign. So in your shadow position, the pleasure principle is being compromised at this particular time if there is this activation of a tendency to avoid the impact mama drama has in your life at this time. What you want is to die to that way of being. It is exhausting you. You are tired of the one-way street. You are ready to surrender. You're ready to be reborn. This is waxing gibbous throat chakra energy. And so waxing gibbous is revision. It's redefining who you are. Throat chakra is ruled by Mercury. So this third house energy for this Libra full moon in Chitra is saying that the good deeds, the high creativity, the being positive despite the negativity and the struggle is wonderful. But just like she went to her father and said, look, the sun is just outshining me. I have a light too. And her father said, okay, and diminished the light. You need to acknowledge that you have a light too. And although you can put on a good show that, yeah, everybody sees your light, or yeah, you're expressing it in your heart of hearts, which is the space that we speak of here, you know that there's even more, because Virgo is how you process your emotions, and that's ruled by Mercury. And you are ready to be reborn in a new way of expressing yourself, in a new way of creating your life, creating your relationships with your siblings, with your co-workers, with your neighbors. You do enjoy people. You do enjoy being around people. And you haven't been able to really do that because of the power that the MDT identity has been able to take a stronghold in your life, of making you feel guilty that you cannot control yourself, your triggered reactions to the blame, shame, and guilt, that you can't cure it on your own. Oh, everybody has that. And so if I'm just positive and I just do this and I just put on this act, That's not working anymore. You need to do deep healing, and you realize that. You want to do that. You want to be reborn. And the energies that are supporting you to do that, it's that inner wisdom that you have. Yes, you're right. It is time. And yes, you're right. You have the power to do this full moon. Yes, this is a new moon card, which is the card of the blank slate. We don't know what's coming. You know, it's the teacher at the end of class back in the day erasing the board for the next day. That is the new moon. Heart chakra energy. Heart chakra is ruled by Venus, which rules Libra. And so Libra full moon, okay, is supporting you to trust your inner wisdom. And that inner wisdom during this full moon in Chitra is erasing the board of all of that stuff that has outshone you for so long. All of that stuff that has said that no, you need to do it this way. No. It's not time for you to fully enjoy your life, to fully express yourself from your heart. No. Erase all of that, because the present state of your ego soul alignment, Leo moon sign people, is that you are ready to embrace the shadow. You are ready to embrace the reality of mama drama trauma in your life. You're ready to die to that MDT identity. Okay? You're ready. And you're ready to embrace your divinity identity. And so that is the blessing of embracing MDT. Is that we can't release what we don't hold, what we don't have. We can intellectualize and we can say, like I said, oh, everybody has it, no problem, but it stays out there, But once we bring it in here and we embrace that shadow and we say, hey, my inner wisdom is telling me the reality of the situation is this. This is what I have, and this is what I've been experiencing. Then we can let it go. This is the scene in The Wizard of Oz. Inanna is the Mesopotamian goddess of the underworld. She went there to get her sister, and her sister was an unfortunate looking being that she was ashamed of, but she loved her sister Ezekiel, and she had to accept her in order to have a relationship with her. You know, we always want to fix something up. We always want to pretty something up. MDT is not as bad. I did that for 15 years. For 15 years. Longer. I did it consciously for 15 years. But I did it a lot longer than that, altogether told. And it takes a long time, because first of all, we think that that's all the mother that we have. And so what kind of life is that without a mother? We don't realize that we really don't have the mother that we need. We have the mother that we have. Okay, now on a reality, capital R basis, we have the mother that we need to evolve in self-love and spiritual independence. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had the soul contract with her. Okay, but on an ego level, which is important as well, that's our ascendant sign. The moon is the transmitter of communication between the ascendant and the sun. It's a radar transmission signal. Emotion from the ascendant, intuition from the sun, back and forth. Okay, we talk here moon sign, okay, going back and forth. And that ascendant does not feel okay, it's uploading emotion to the sun. It doesn't feel loved. But the sun is downloading intuitively, look, this is your birth mother, this lifetime. You know how many mothers you've had and how many lifetimes you had? You know how many skulls you have in the ground on this planet? Come on now. She's one. And all of them come from the mother of all mothers. So let's get it clear. And that's what the sun is always trying to communicate. But at the same time, the sun is having this experience through you in order to evolve through this itself. So even the soul can know things intellectually because it's lived many lifetimes. but it has never experienced it in order to actually evolve. And so that's what the lifetime experience is about. And that's why embracing our shadow is so important, of accepting that I haven't fully recognized this. And so let me recognize it. This is the same when Dorothy and them realize that he's just a man after Toto, pulls the curtain. And they say, "You're a terrible man for doing this." And he says, "I'm not a terrible man. I'm just a very bad wizard." That's what he says. So there's nothing bad about how you have been connecting with people. It's just that it's time for you to realize that you have not done it from a truly genuine space. And you know that. What you're feeling right now is as a result of this awareness, is this purification process, this alchemical process that's going to allow you to enjoy your life a lot more than you do now. Now, why your soul wants to do this work, this full moon cycle, is because it wants this purification to make your intuitive downloads more clear to you and for you. You do get your intuitive downloads in this Cancerian manner that is wanting to take care of others. It's very caring. It's very nurturing. But it with the third quarter moon, there's parts of that need to be let go of with this Jupiter. Ankh represents Jupiter in this day. And Jupiter is retrograde until August, and you're going to see what aspects of that nurturing behavior need to be released right now for you, Leo, to move forward in your new life and being more authentic in how you connect first with yourself and then with others. There's some aspects of how you've been doing that this lifetime and other lifetimes, but particularly through the lens of Mama Drama Trauma, is showing you that through the law of Divine Mother, Cancer again is how you download. That's that Cancer part of your yoga, of how you download your intuition from the sun, is going to show you ways that you can feel that creativity and that fun connection with other people in a more genuine way that honors you, that really honors you, not just for the sake of feeling seen or feeling recognized, just to feel seen and to feel recognized, and that being enough to feel good. But that seeing is really reflecting your inner wisdom and really allowing you to accept yourself and be self-nurturing, self-loving, self-caring, self-mothering, despite what may be aspects of yourself that you may not want other people to feel, and that you may be sacrificing your own joy as a result of that kind of superficial way of doing it up to this point. You probably haven't seen it as superficial, but now with this kind of twister experience emotionally that you're having, you probably are. And so how your soul wants to do this work of more clear downloads is by you leaving situations in your close groups at work, affiliations, things like that are not productive for you, that do not honor your inner wisdom. If you know that you have had a great idea to give more of your gifts, your talents, and your abilities in a creative manner, in a creative project that is not being supported by a group of people around you who may validate that superficial part of you, but they're not really supporting that inner part of you that's really wanting to come out and really wanting to share that genuine nurturing part of you that you were wanting to bring through that project, that you were wanting to bring through that new managerial style, that you were wanting to share in adjusting your schedule so that you can balance your inner life. Then it's time to let that stuff go. It's time to... This is waxing gibbous root chakra. Saturn is the ruler of the root chakra, and it's also going retrograde by the end of this month. And this transit again until August, September, Saturn is going to show you areas that you need to limit those associations, okay, in order to bring that balance into your life, to shine your light. That you need to restrict those kinds of associations, even amongst your siblings, amongst your neighbors, just because, you know, you've partied together for a long time, or that, you know, your kids are friends, or that sort of thing. Overindulging people just for acceptance. There needs to be a reallocation of your emotional resources so that you can ground yourself in your new reality, if that makes sense. Okay, you need not so much to focus on being, coddled, or the focus of emotional attention, or even feeding. Some people can have a tendency to emotionally feed off of other people. That's an indication that that environment is not feeding you. Okay, and so if you have any of that going on, Saturn's going to show you where that is. And so instead of being surprised or being jolted and kind of feeling like, wow, we used to be really cool, what's happening, you know, at work? Well, that's just Saturn letting you know that's an area of energy allocation that needs to be restricted so that you can open up energy that's going to facilitate you to go in the direction that you know that you really want to go to be happy. And if you do that, and work with these energies that are coming up to help you balance these energies, this Libra full moon, you're going to, by the new moon or by the next full moon in Scorpio, really be open to this new transformative process that is underway for you at this time. Next full moon is Scorpio, about transformation. And so this is the waxing. You have 1, 2, 3 waxing moon cards here. And so there's a lot of energy that's waxing up to the next full moon in Scorpio. That's all about primordial mother, earth mother. Now we have open, Sheila Nagig, being open to what's next. Being open to, okay, so the cosmos is going to show me where to amplify my creativity and what needs to be let go in order for me to do that and feel happy and feel like I'm in my creative juices in doing that. So that is your outcome. Heart chakra, again, is ruled by Venus. And so this Venetian energy of Libra is very powerful here in your reading as well with regard to purification of your inner wisdom. You're getting a lot. Trust it. It's coming through for you so that you can enjoy your life a lot more than you are. And I don't see any fear around this. I just see maybe where there has been a little apprehension about accepting this great mother download that you've been getting for a while here from that Cancer in your yoga. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. I hope that was very helpful for you. Reach out and let me know how things are going for you. Sign up for the Mama Drama Trauma support group if you need some more insight. Would love to connect with you. Enjoy your full moon. Enjoy your Easter weekend. Remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Nami, and Mother Mary.